If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm today to get started. Hello, self-developers, and welcome to the Patrick Kelly Podcast for Self-Development, where I will be reviewing audible books on self-development that can change your life for the better this year and years to come. It is said that if we keep on doing what we always did, we will keep on getting what we always got. In other words, to change our output, we first have to change our input. Today is July 4th, 2021, and this is episode 25. And today we'll be reviewing the audible book, You're Broke Because You Want to Be, How to Stop Getting By and Start Getting Ahead by Larry Winget. This audible book will teach you how to stop being broke and start being rich by changing the habits that make you broke. If you did not want to be broke, you wouldn't be. Stop being a victim. Victimhood is a privilege that you can no longer afford. Broke is not a thing that snuck up on you in the middle of the night and beat you over the head into submission. Broke is a choice, not a destination. Broke is a mindset. Poor is a condition. You chose to spend your money the way you did. You are a reflection of the choices that you have made in regard to your money and your spending habits. If you want a better life, then make better choices. Stop being so broke that you can't even pay attention. Until you want to be rich, nothing will change for you. It's not about saying affirmations every day to change your situation. It is about taking action and doing the things necessary to change your situation. Affirmations without implementations lead to self-delusion. What you think about, talk about, get off your ass, and do something about comes about. Chapter 1. Money matters. People do what they do because they want to do it. Comfortable people don't feel bad enough to change, but don't feel good enough to really be able to enjoy their lives. People never make changes in their lives when they are uncomfortable. You have to get uncomfortable in order to make positive change in your life. Money is important. People who do not have money cannot help anyone, including themselves. The world needs your thoughts, your prayers, and most of all, your money. We cannot give what we do not have. Money determines the house you live in, the car you drive, and the clothes you wear on your back. Money won't make you a better person. Money makes good people better and bad people worse. People are the way they are because that is the way they choose to be. You are who you are because of the choices you make and not because of how much money you have or don't have. Chapter 2. Your real problem. Bad spending habits is what made you broke. Spending didn't make you broke. Spending money on the wrong things is what made you broke. When you learn to spend on the right things, then you will be rich. Assets put money in your pocket, and liabilities take money out of your pocket. If it's on your ass, it's not an asset. Education in order to learn what to do with your money is not an expense, it is an investment. How a person spends their money is a dead giveaway of what is important in anyone's life. It doesn't matter what you say is important to you, your actions always tell the truth. When you follow the money, you know what someone really loves. Figure out why you want to stop being broke. Why is more important than how. He who has a why to live for can bear with almost any how. Why is the motivator, the incentive, and the thing that keeps you sticking with it even when you don't feel like it. How is the work. Why is the reason to do the work. Chapter 3. Know where you are. You can't get ahead until you know what you have to work with. Nobody ever wrote down a plan to be broke. Broke happens when you don't have a plan. Make a list of every dime you owe and who you owe it to. Make a list of anything you spend money on, such as food, groceries, gasoline, eating out, and more. Write down all expenses no matter how small it is. If you are currently making less per month than you spend each month, then you are currently in a pit of doo-doo. The best way to get out of a hole is to stop digging. Take responsibility for where you are financially. You and only you are to blame for your financial situation. If you are spending more than you make, are in debt because you can't control your spending, and earn less than you could, then you deserve to feel the pain of your choices. Pain is a better motivator than pleasure. Remorse is the first step towards accountability. When you feel bad for doing something, you are taking responsibility for your actions. Side note, if you want to turn your life around financially, it's really very simple. It comes down to two things. You have to either reduce expenses or increase income. Which should you do? Both. To really get ahead, you have to spend less money and earn more money. It's not enough to do just one. Chapter 4. How to get out of debt. The only way to get more is to give more. You give and then you get. You can't get more time to spend with your family until you give up the time you are spending doing something else. You can't get healthier until you give up what is making you unhealthy. And you can't get ahead until you are willing to give up the things that are keeping you broke. Don't think something is too insignificant to make a difference. Everything in your life either moves you closer or further away from where you want to be. In order to have what you never had and get something you have never gotten, you have to do something you have never done. Start getting out of debt by earning more money, and use that money to pay off your debts. While there is never a shortage of ways to earn more money, there is a shortage of willingness to do whatever it takes to earn more money. Life is not made up of the haves and have-nots, but instead of the wills and will-nots. Chapter 5. How to cut your expenses and increase your income. Put yourself on a budget. If governments around the world can operate on a budget, then so can you. Spend money on what you need and not on what you want. A budget tells your money how to behave. Everything in life gets better when you get better. If you knew better, you would do better. If you constantly think like you are broke, talk like you are broke, and do the things that a broke person does, then you will always be broke. A lack of personal discipline in one area of your life always shows up in other areas. When you get control over one area of your life, then other areas start to come together. Chapter 6. The stuff most people overlook. Before you do anything to change your financial situation, always begin with the end in mind. You can't survive spending more than you make. When shopping, shop with a list. Only buy what is on the list and only buy the things that are needed for your financial survival. Spend what you have and not what you don't have by putting expenses on a credit card. Create an emergency account of 6 months to 9 months of cash in case you lose your job or have a medical emergency that insurance won't pay for. Remind yourself that your condition is your own damn fault, and then commit and constantly recommit yourself to having the money to live any way you want to in life. Be thankful for what you have. The more you are thankful for what you have, the more you will have to be thankful for. Chapter 7. Now it's time for your new budget. In order to get ahead, you must have a written budget for spending money. You must begin your budget with your income rather than finish your budget with your income. Stop living backward and begin to live forward. Live on what you earn, period. No excuses. You can't survive spending more than you make. Always make sure that you follow the guidelines of saving some of what you make and spending less than you make. Surround yourself with like-minded people who will keep you accountable and keep you from remaining broke. do today what others don't to have tomorrow what others won't. Closing thoughts. On a scale of 1 to 5, I would give this audible book a solid 5 for providing simple steps on how to stop getting by and start getting ahead and avoid the pitfalls of being broke. To find out more about this audible book, go to www.audible.com and download this audible book, or go to www.larrywinget.com for more information. Please subscribe to this podcast on your favorite podcast platform and share this episode via text or email with friends and family and other people that you care about. And if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, please leave a review. For more episodes of the Patrick Kelly Podcast for Self-Development, go to www.thepatrickkellypodcast.com. If you would like to donate $1 or more to the support of this podcast, click the donate button at www.thepatrickkellypodcast.com, and I'll be sure to thank you on the next episode. This is the end of this podcast for today. Tune in next week Sunday for the next episode and the next audible book of over 300 books that I'll be reviewing on the Patrick Kelly Podcast for Self-Development. If you enjoyed this podcast, take a moment to rate and review on Apple Podcasts. This really helps me out. Feel free to share this podcast with someone you care about. And remember, your life does not get better by chance, it gets better by change. Take care.